Have you ever wanted to invest in real estate but didn't want to deal with the clogged toilets, late night phone calls, tenants who promise they'll pay you next week, or taking out a massive mortgage? Or maybe you've watched real estate prices go up for years and thought, there's no way I can get into this anymore. Well, what if I told you there's a way to earn rental income without ever buying a property or dealing with any of the headaches? Today, we're unlocking one of the most misunderstood but powerful tools available to investors: REITs, R-E-I-T-S, Real Estate Investment Trust. And if you want passive income, inflation protection, and diversification, this video is going to show you exactly how REITs work and how to use them to build long-term wealth. Let's get right into it, and let's always be compounding. Hello, fellow compounders. I'm Chen, CFA charter holder, former hedge fund manager, and chief compounder at the Always Be Compounding Club. I make videos that help you build wealth without speculation, without stress, and without losing your mind in this crazy market. If you'd like to go deeper and ask me questions directly, join me inside the Always Be Compounding Club for coffee with the chief compounder, a relaxed live Q&A where we talk markets, portfolios, and compounding. It's free to join. Just go to members@alwaysbecompounding.club and use the code ONEFREECOFFEE for a free month membership. Alright, before we continue, a quick disclaimer. This video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. It is not financial, investment, or tax advice. All figures and examples are hypothetical and for illustration only. I'm sharing general information and examples, not recommendations tailored to you. Investing involves risk, including possible loss of principal. Past performance does not guarantee future results. Your situation is unique. Always do your own research and consult a qualified financial professional before making any decisions. Alright, let's talk REITs. Segment 1. What exactly is a REIT? So, what is a REIT? A real estate investment trust, or REIT, R-E-I-T, is a company that owns, operates, or finances income-producing real estate. Think of things like apartment buildings, warehouses, shopping centers, medical offices, data centers, office towers, self-storage, hotels, cell towers, and even farmland. Here's the key rule you need to know. REITs must distribute at least 90% of their taxable income as dividends. This makes them some of the most consistent income-producing investments available to regular investors. And unlike physical properties, REITs require no mortgage, no down payment, no tenants, no repairs, and zero landlord drama. You buy them like stocks. They trade on exchanges, they're liquid, they're transparent, and you can start with literally $5. But knowing what a REIT is only step 1. The real magic is how they make money. Segment 2. How REITs actually make money. Commercial real estate is a cash flow machine if managed correctly. REITs earn money in 4 main ways. Number 1, rental income. This is the engine. Most REITs lock in multi-year leases, giving them predictable, stable cash flows. Number 2, property appreciation. Over time, high-quality properties in strong locations become more valuable. That increases the REIT's equity and net asset value. 3, development and redevelopment. REITs frequently renovate and expand properties to charge higher future rents. Think of it like you buy, you improve, you refinance, and you rent the property for hire. 4, specialty revenue streams. Some REITs have additional income sources, like, for example, data access fees, bandwidth fees in data centers, storage overage fees, percent of rent in retail. That's malls usually charge that to their tenants. CPI-linked rent escalators. That means that the rents adjust for inflation every year. All these flows add up. So this is also why REITs can perform well during inflation. Rents tend to rise with prices. But not all REITs are created equal. Some are incredibly stable, others are extremely risky. Let's break down the types of REITs, because choosing the wrong one can blow up your income strategy. Segment 3, the 3 types of REITs. There are 3 major categories. Let's keep this super simple. Number 1, equity REITs. These REITs own physical properties. Heard examples: apartments, industrial warehouses, retail spaces, office buildings, data centers, self-storage, healthcare facilities. These are generally the most stable, predictable, and beginner-friendly. Number 2, mortgage REITs, or M-REITs. This is a completely different business model. M-REITs, or mortgage REITs, don't own properties. They own mortgages that are backed by these properties. They use a lot of leverage. They're extremely sensitive to interest rates, and their dividends can swing wildly. My general advice to beginners is learn the difference between equity REITs and mortgage REITs. Mortgage REITs are not a substitute for equity REITs. And number 3, we have the specialty REITs. This category has exploded. Here are some examples. Cell towers like American Tower, timber, farmland infrastructure, cold storage, data centers. These behave differently from traditional real estate and can add valuable diversification. So now you know what REITs are, but why would you actually want to own them? Let's talk about the real benefits. Segment 4, why investors use REITs. People love REITs for 5 major reasons. Number 1, high income. Because of the 90% distribution rule, REITs often pay yields above the S&P 500. Number 2, inflation protection. Commercial rents often have built-in escalators, so you're literally indexed to inflation. 3, diversification. REITs don't behave like tech stocks or bonds or commodities. They sit in their own little world. Number 4, liquidity. Unlike physical properties, you can sell a REIT instantly. It sells like a stock. 5, professional management. You're hiring experts with teams, systems, and scale. They're very different from managing a rental property yourself. Trust me, I've done it. But here's the truth most videos don't mention. REITs come with real risk. And if you don't understand them, you can get burned. Segment 5, the risk you must understand. Let's go through the big ones. Number 1, interest rate sensitivity. When interest rates rise, borrowing costs increase. That means that the real estate values drop. That means REIT prices will fall. This is the number 1 thing that moves REIT prices. Number 2, leverage. Some REITs borrow heavily. A high-quality REIT manages its debt maturity schedule carefully. A poorly run one can walk straight into a refinancing disaster. 3, sector risk. Different real estate sectors behave differently. For example, office has weak demand from work from home. Retail depends heavily on location and tenant quality. Hotels are cyclical and are tied to travel. Industrial is going through a boom due to e-commerce, and data centers are growing from cloud and AI demand. Number 4, dividend cuts. A high yield is not a sign of safety. In fact, it often means stress. If a REIT's payout ratio is too high, the dividend is at risk. So, the natural question becomes, how do we evaluate REITs correctly? Let's talk metrics. Segment 6, the 4 metrics that matter. Forget PE ratios. They're almost always useless for REITs. Here's what actually matters. Number 1, FFO. Funds from operations. This takes the earnings and adds back depreciation and removes gains from property sales. It really tells you what the operating income is from a property. It is the true earnings power of a REIT. Number 2, AFFO, adjusted funds from operations. This subtracts the recurring capital expenditures from FFO. Think of this number as the one that answers the question, can the REIT afford its dividend sustainably? Number 3, NAV, net asset value, which is equals to what the properties are worth minus the debt. So buying a REIT below its NAV is like buying real estate at a discount. Number 4, cap rate. Cap rate is equals to the net operating income divided by the property value. A high cap rate usually means that you're buying cheaper real estate, which in turn means you're usually taking higher risk because the quality of the real estate is lower. A low cap rate means that you're usually buying expensive real estate, which usually is of higher quality. Once you know how to evaluate a REIT, the next question is, where do they fit inside a portfolio? Let's cover that next. Segment 7, how to use REITs in a portfolio. Here's a simple framework. For beginners, start broad. So probably most likely you're using a core satellite approach where your core is your basic equity index ETF. And your satellite would be your real estate part or real estate portfolio. So for your satellite portion, if you're using a REIT ETF, you could research one of these 3, Vanguard's VNQ, Schwab's SCHH, and iShares IYR. All 3 are very popular. I suggest you research all 3 of them and figure out which one's good for you. Remember, I'm not giving financial advice. I'm just pointing out what you can go ahead and do some homework on. If you want to go deeper, your satellite could also have specific REITs, high quality REITs, 1 to 3 that you actually do your research on also. In addition to the index REITs for your satellite, you might want to add 1 to 3 high quality REITs instead of just the REIT ETF. Go ahead and do some research, find some high quality REITs, and figure out if it's okay or good for you. As for allocation guidelines, here's an educational guidelines, not advice, it's just a framework. So make sure you do your own homework. But here's just a rough idea of what more or less you could allocate to REITs. If you're a conservative investor, 5 to 10%. If you're moderate, 10 to 15%. And if you're enterprising or aggressive investor, maybe up to 20%. But even with a good allocation, you still need to pick good REITs. So what actually makes a great REIT? Segment 8. What makes a great REIT? Here's a checklist of what I personally like in a REIT. High quality properties, strong occupancy, long-term leases, consistent same-store rent growth, low to moderate leverage, strong management team, and dividend growth, not just high yield. If a REIT checks most of these boxes, it's usually worth looking into, and do your research. But even with good REITs, investors still make common mistakes. Let's avoid those. Segment 9. Common mistakes to avoid. Here are the mistakes to avoid. Chasing high yields, treating mortgage REITs like equity REITs, ignoring debt maturity schedules, over-concentration in weak sectors, buying without understanding the funds from operations and adjusted funds from operations, FFO and AFFO. If you avoid these mistakes, you'll already be ahead of most REIT investors. All right, let's wrap this up with a big takeaway. Segment 10, final thoughts. REITs are one of the easiest ways to add income, inflation protection, diversification, long-term appreciation to your portfolios without ever becoming a landlord. They let you participate in commercial real estate, the same asset class used by pension funds, endowments, and institutions, through a simple, liquid investment vehicle. Used wisely, they can become a powerful part of your long-term compounding strategy. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who wants to invest smarter. And remember, the secret to building wealth isn't guessing right. It's to always be compounding. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Take care.